What's up, world? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Forge. If you're watching this in the future, just fast forward till you see players starting to get drafted. It'll be a little bit before we get started. We'll go over some news to start, just give some people some time to get on in here and join us. Right now, probably people are getting ads. We'll give it a minute. Are the New York Giants not punting? Ooh, did they go for it on fourth down? What just happened with them? New England muffed punt, maybe? Alright, let me just make sure the sound's okay. Somehow, some way. Here we go. Ad. Got an ad. Sound again? A little quiet, a little quiet. There we go. Let's bring that in closer. Alright. Why does it feel so high? Hold up. I want to keep the game on here. Cam Scadaboo getting some action. And maybe Cam Scadaboo's night is done after 3 carries. That would be interesting. I feel like that would be a good sign, right? If nothing else. Alright. Recent news, mostly today's stuff, but Washington running back Chris Rodriguez, kind of the guy up ahead of Bill Krosky-Merritt, Jacory, is a question was asked of head coach Dan Quinn. He said that Chris Rodriguez, the question was, would Chris Rodriguez replace Brian Robinson as the short yardage / goal line back? And the answer was yes, he would. I don't know exactly what that means for Jacory Krosky-Merritt. I have kind of speculated already on Jacory Krosky-Merritt, like maybe running behind Chris Rodriguez to start the season, as he is currently, it seems, behind him on the depth chart. So, that is what it is. Not going to totally ignore Jacory Krosky-Merritt because of it or get overly excited about C-Rod, Chris Rodriguez. Metro, hey, he came early. How's it going? Steelers' first-round pick carted off the field. Offensive lineman? No, not this year. Why can't I remember who they drafted? Not a receiver, not a cornerback, not a linebacker. Defensive lineman, Harmon. Harmon was carted off the field. That sucks. I don't like that. He's a good talent. Let's see. Deebo Samuel. Some good news on him. First of all, we see him last week. Caleb Johnson was like a third-round pick. Michael Burgos, what's up? Links are in the description, guys, to the... Let me know, too. Full PPR, half PPR, 10-team, 12-team. What do you want to draft? Deebo Samuel, first of all, we saw him last week in preseason week 2. Had a play where he looked really good. Not going to lie, I saw it and I was like, wow, that looks like a vintage Deebo to an extent. So other good news for him is that he was voted unanimously. I believe every beat writer voted him as the best player at the Washington Commanders camp, the offseason so far. So I moved him up my rankings a little bit. I'm still not like insanely high on him. But obviously, too, I mean, if Terry McLaurin weren't to sign with the team or something, that would be helpful for him. Travis Hunter is currently nursing an upper body injury. That happened like last week, but I don't know if we knew where the injury was located at that point in time. It's an upper body injury. That's all I have on it. I don't know. Could be neck. That would suck. That would not be great. So hopefully it's nothing. From the sounds of it, it doesn't sound like anything too serious at this point. But you never know at this point of the offseason. Knee injury. Oh, boy. That's no bueno. 12 full team. Can we do 10 team full? I do have 3 wide receivers set up. We will do Metro. We'll get a 10 team because we needed to get you back from the end of last week. So we'll do a 10 team to start, and then unless there's lots of requests, otherwise we could do a 12 after that. I'd like to do a 12, personally. Let's see. Positive news on Matt Stafford. Still not out of the woods, I would say, but things are looking positive. Sean McVay had really good things to say. Part of a quote for him being no restrictions on Matt Stafford at this point. That would suggest out of the woods. From other quotes, I'm not so sure we're quite there yet. I don't feel comfortable saying we're there yet, but good news there. Jalen Polk, New England wide receiver, early second rounder last year, out for the season, so it wasn't looking great for him anyways. Too bad. Sucks. Lamar Jackson avoided serious injury the other day. He had x-rays done today, and they came back fine, so no concerns there. Jalen Wright left practice today. Not a clue how serious an injury may or may not be for him. But somebody who I already had ranked higher than him, Ollie Gordon, that definitely potentially opens up a door for him, even as the starter for them early in the season with Achane banged up. Possibly a serious injury for Achane, possibly going to miss some time. Who knows yet? But definitely a possibility there. So Ollie Gordon, someone you could get at the end of your drafts, and especially like 0 RB types drafts and stuff, and hope for the best for your case. And then Godwin is expected to return come October time period. They are planning on taking him off of the PUP to start the year instead of keeping him on the PUP. So that's good news, but yeah, not till October still. There's some practice restrictions that come along with PUP, so it sounds like they just want to gear him up to be ready by the time that they get him out there. All the quarterbacks are going to play versus the Rams. Sanders. Oh, that reminds me. That quote was taken way out of context. That's why I was surprised about that from Dylan Gabriel, because he just, everything I've heard about him as a person, like, he wouldn't say that. That quote he was talking about, there's like the writers who talk about guys, and then there were the players. So it seemingly got taken out of context. I don't know about 100% for sure that it did, but given what I know about him personality-wise, I don't think he would just go ahead and throw Sanders under the bus like that. But I saw Sanders' quote, too, on it. I couldn't quite read Sanders on what he said about it all. Metro, 3 wide receiver, gives you a 12-team feel, a lot of times anyways. I just need practice for my home league. It drafts in under 2 weeks. Well, I hope so, because I think we're 2 weeks away exactly today from the start of the season. Ollie Gordon, greater than Jalen Wright as a handcuff. Let's see what this Jalen Wright injury is. I think Ollie Gordon would win the job if there's an injury come week 8 or 9. I don't know about week 1. So I have Ollie Gordon ahead of Jalen Wright by a little ways in my rankings. I haven't moved Jalen Wright back yet because of this. But it's a speculative thing. You know, Jalen Wright just hasn't really looked too good. But I don't know for sure that Ollie Gordon just outright beats him come like week 1. That is what a reporter who asked him the questions claims is talking about. She explained the whole situation and how the quote got removed from the question, which was why I said, like, I would be interested to hear what exactly the question was, what the tone was that he was talking in. It's just not Dylan Gabriel, man. That's not the person he is. He's like a team guy. In college, he used to pick up all of his wide receivers in a freaking minivan, okay? That's not a guy who is willing to drive a minivan and goes and picks up all of his wide receivers every day for practice is not a guy who's throwing one of his teammates under the bus his rookie season. I'm so excited for some football. I've been counting down the days. 13 almost at this point. Sound clips can always sound terrible. You got to be careful with sound clips in life. Yeah, I see stuff for people all the time, and then I go and watch the full video on it or something. It's like, well, yeah, you just took that completely out of context. So I guess I'll go towards the end of this puppy then. Well, hold up. I need to practice from the 4 spot. So we'll just get us all down here. Metro practicing from up there. Days till football. Wow, college football is starting this weekend, huh? All right, should we just get started with us? Let me double check the settings here. Well, okay, 3 wide receiver, 2 running back, tight end, flex, quarterback. Is it full PPR? We'll go full PPR. There we go. Full PPR. And it's 30-second timer, so we'll let some people get on in here then for the next draft. Let's get moving, huh? You guys ready? Or should we wait a little longer? Let me know. But that was all the news that I got. Hold up. Let me see if anything interesting happened in this game. So, yeah, Scadaboo looks like he just did the first drive. And Dart even did the second drive. Threw a touchdown to Greg Dulcich. There we go. Thomas Fedone getting a catch. Let's go. So Scatterbo 3 for 12. I mean, that's not terrible. 4-8. Looks like every run of his was 4 yards because the maximum is 4. That's the only way that... So 4 yards on every rush for Scatterbo, and they took him out. I wonder if that's a health thing or if that's a part like they feel comfortable with him. I don't know. And New England's not playing anybody. And the other game, I don't think they're playing anybody either on any team. Well, Caleb Johnson, 5 for 24, 4.8 yard average there, long of 8, solid. Kenny Gainwell, Jalen Warren and Kenny Gainwell both ran ahead of him again, though. 2 rushes for each of them. Jalen Warren also got 2 catches for 12 yards on top of that. Freiermuth was out there, so they had like some guys out there, some guys not. And Carolina, I don't think had anybody. Trevor Etienne was the starting running back for them. No. All right. It's week 3. Week 3 preseason. All done. 10 team first. You're right. There we go. 10 team PPR. We got us going. I'm picking from 4. Michael going to pick from the 10 spotter. Metro, get your butt on in here. Let's start this. Burgos, are you ready? Burgos built. I so hope that you actually have like a private business where you're a physical trainer or something, Michael. Burgos specifically. And your like company logo name is Burgos Built. And your logo could just be you. Why not? Flexing. Burgos Built just sounds so perfect. I don't want to start this before Michael gets in here. Come on, Mike. He's always getting a little busy. Justin returning. Good timing, Justin. Mike's in here. Attaboy. All right, let's get this started. Metro, get yourself ready. We're going. So Jamar Chase, Bijan going second. What does Michael do? Going to go Saquon? Jameer? Maybe Christian McCaffrey? CeeDee Lamb? Justin Jefferson? Those are your options. Just in time. Michael goes with Gibbs. I like it. I mean, I have Barkley ahead of him, but I understand if you want to go Anon. 3 wide receiver, and I get my first choice. Well, second wide receiver. Yeah, I'll go CeeDee Lamb, 3 wide receiver. Okay, Giants back on the field. Let's see if we can't get any more Scatterbo sightings. Or, once again, maybe it's just a good sign if he's not back out there. So then, Saquon Barkley goes to Team 5. Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Puka going to Justin. Neighbors, and around the turn, we're going to see McCaffrey. And it's gone Devon Achane here, but with the injury, will there be a switch up? And who will it be if so? Nico's pretty sexy. Chase Brown. I love it. I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to will it to happen. I would have been happy with Chase. Ashton Genty, Derrick Henry going. So the Puka Henry combo. We don't know, Metro. We just don't know. It's a calf. So wide range of possibilities. BTJ, Drake, London. I think it's pretty much between them for me. And this is full PPR. I actually do have Drake London ahead in full PPR. Ooh, CeeDee Lamb, Drake London. Let's go. We got targets on deck. BTJ, Bowers, McConkey. And Jacobs around the turn. Josh Allen. So Bucky Irving, definitely out of those top three, provides the most receiving upside. Going with the QB. I don't have a running back yet. Is this going to be the first time I get Bucky? Could go Trey, but I think... You know what? I have my overall rankings here. Yeah, I still got Bucky ahead of him. Alright, let's do him. Bucky. Getting Bucky with it. Give me JSN. A JSN discussion? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. They're supposed to be more run heavy than last year. I feel like between JSN and Cup, JSN is the one who does more of the vertical stuff and could almost do like a Rashid Shaheed thing, which was very successful in that offense last season. So, you know, and then of course there is Cooper Kupp there who might be very good underneath. So JSN loses some of like the layups, possibly, potentially, but not necessarily, because they do condensed formations, and you can get creative with that and be fine with it. I just don't know for sure that they will, or how much they'll do that. So, still the wide receiver one in Seattle. Decent quarterback situation, not great, decent. Offensive line's looking good. Early returns on it. Ooh, Mike Evans has risen in my rankings a little bit, I believe. Ah, shoot. I still have DK Metcalf ahead of that. I'm going to go all out on the wide receivers. Shooting for the stars. Mike Evans going for Burgos there. So, there's just, it's kind of a yin and yang effect. Like JSN's targets might be down a little ways, but probably not like a significant amount. His ADOT could be up a little ways, be used a little bit more vertically. Quarterback, you know, it's Sam Darnold. Probably not the best offensive line, even if the early returns have been nice. I think this is Shaycon. 5th round? Do I have time? Ah, shoot. I have no time to switch. It's just Burrow. I believe, yeah, I do have James Conner and Omarion Hampton ahead of taking the quarterbacks there on my overall list. Oh, well. I'll survive. Last year, CMC F'd me with injury BS. You should have been paying attention to the channel. Depending on how late you drafted, I probably would have been telling you not to take him. Literally the year after winning me the league. Yeah. I got pretty down on him late off season. He concerned me with where that news was not coming, you know, from. MH, was that a satisfactory enough JSN discussion? I know it wasn't the most in-depth ever, but that's just kind of where it is on him. I have him in a tier with Lad McConkey, T. Higgins, JSN in that order. So kind of the guys where it's just outside of, you know, the Puka Nacua, Monter St. Brown ahead of that. Like just outside of the top tier of guys. Like the questions are louder for them, but they're not completely out of it. Ooh, AJ Harvey, give me that. RJ Harvey, give me that. So I hesitantly am positive about those three. Lad, T, JSN. Sutton, nice pickup there. Maria, Mike Evans. Ooh, quietly a nice little team there. Ooh, running backs heavy there. On 3 wide receiver metro, but you probably couldn't help yourself with Travion there. And what is this, 6? And if you really want Travion, even in 5 team, you're probably going to want to pull up on him a round earlier if you are dying to get him, because he's going. Calvin. Ooh, I like this team for full full PPR upside. Of course, DK and Calvin could end up not being good, and then that's going to be rough if I don't find a gem. And RJ, you know, a little bit of risk. But the upside here, I do like. Michael, what you got? The running backs, and you went T, Zay, George, Olave, full PPR. That helps him. Kittle, Prescott. Hey, you know I'm solid with the start. Tyler Haynes, what's up, man? How you doing? No Seattle expert. Okay, gotcha, MH. So yeah, mostly in agreement. Yeah, Seattle's revamped their offensive line. It's been looking good in the preseason. It's just preseason. Offensive line going to be huge for Sam Darnold. By the way, Tyler, I'll get you just a second after I pick the Sam Darnold behind a shaky offensive line is a scary thing. Tyrone Tracy in full PPR, not a bad bet to make, right? But I think I can get away with one more wide receiver. We'll go with the potential ups. We'll take another risk. So in a 10-team keeper league, kept BTJ in the 11th round, of course. Yeah, nice. Kind of took a leap and took Nico and London. Ooh, okay, I like that. Took Travion and Walker and Swift with Sharp Hap. I like that a lot, dude. Nah, I like what you did a lot. You know, BTJ you kept, so that was your keeper. Nico and London is pretty sexy. Is that full PPR? Full PPR even helps him a little bit versus, well, kind of, versus some of the other guys out there. Yeah, so I still get Tyrone here, and I think I'll do that. Okay. Caleb Johnson going there. You grabbed Matt Golden. Love it, Michael. Evan Ingram, full PPR. Okay. I'm more okay with it in full. And then Pollard's nice. Gibbs obviously nice. 10 team. The teams just always look so much better in 10 team. Pacheco in full PPR. I definitely would go Jones over Pacheco still myself. Hawkinson, Kyler as the onesies. Like, just solid guys, not league winners, but when you got all the other positions, you know, you obviously took them, I'm guessing, both behind all the others, and maybe you took Hawkinson prior to Swift, Kyler, in that order. So Nico, London, Walker, Travion, Hawk, Swift, Kyler. Yeah, Justin, that's definitely a part of it. Obviously, you know, he didn't have a good year last year. He came off of an injury, didn't look good. I know early on in training camp, the word was a kind of a 1A, 1B situation. Hunt was still going to be taking carries from him. I don't know how for sure of a fact that is, but I'm sure that has helped to keep him down in rankings. Like, if I had heard news that, it's completely 100% his backfield, I'd probably raise him up maybe in my rankings a touch. Yeah, I'd probably want him over David Montgomery if I knew that for sure. You know, I'm just going to secure this New York Giants backfield. The best backfield to secure, right? You got to secure that backfield. So yeah, Pacheco, you know, full PPR too is just, he doesn't, not really a receiving back very much. There's also, they like a lot of their running backs. They drafted a running back. You know, it was obviously late and all that. Full PPR, Ricky Pearsall. Let's go. That seems like a good value. And other than that, I mean, there's just like, you know, there's just a lot of running backs in. Yeah, he's just kind of boring. And like he hasn't been in the news much. He doesn't get talked about a whole lot. He could be fine. I'm one of the people. I'm not extremely high on him. Michael, I kind of went over your roster, right? Up to Prescott. Then you went Warren, Stevenson, which should be fine there. Both backups. And then you got Jaden Higgins, which, I mean, Keon Coleman, I think, is a good bet. a good bet to take. Higgins, I've moved him down in my rankings because he's just a long-term bet. Like, I moved him down a little ways. Not too crazy, but down a little ways. 49th overall now in my rankings among wide receivers. I wish they had, like, the position ranking somewhere up here. Okay, so I've got Bucky, RJ, Tracy. Is it really just 2 rounds left we got here? I guess I'll take my man Dalton Kincaid. I literally grew up in Green Bay, so that's Lambeau Field right behind me. Green Bay Packers fan, baby. And by grew up, I mean live there. The vast majority of my life. I moved down to Florida several years back, but I'll be back in Green Bay. So, Ricky Pearsall, Odunze, Ridley, Metcalf, London. Okay, I feel pretty good about the receivers, huh? Let's add Jaden Blue is a receiving back. Austin Eckler's probably a safer bet, a little less upside. I think I'll take the safe bet with this roster. I'll just grab Eckler as somebody I can play in case these two suck or something like that. Yep. Can't not love your Green Bay Packers when you're born there, And season ticket holder and a team owner. Stock owner. So, all Packers for me. But generally, I mean, I don't dislike a whole lot of teams, and I like quite a few teams. And with all the stuff that I do for fantasy, and I do real analysis for the NFL draft, I'm a big fan of players, so my likes of other teams kind of shifts depending on which players that they're drafting and how good those players that they're drafting end up doing over the coming years. And when a team acquires a bunch of players that that are doing well, obviously then I like that team. So there's not, I don't really hate any team. Even the Bears, I mean, they still suck. What's to hate? And even the Vikings and Detroit. I'm not a weird fan. I get totally weird with it. It's it's a fun sport for me to enjoy. I don't like to sit there and hate. Jane Blue to finish that up. So Michael, fun draft there. Michael, Justin. Taking a risk on Rashee Rice, a little bit of a risk, but then on Hunter, but then you got Ibuka, top that back off, and Pittman late. Not a huge Pittman fan, but at that point of the draft, of course, it's absolutely fine. Tank, Charbonnet, did you get... Okay, so it's Charbonnet's... Well, we'll see about Charbonnet. He might be semi-useful like a tank. And then Pacheco, Connor Henry, Jaden Daniels at quarterback, Mark Andrews should give you a boomer bust element at the tight end position. Full PPR, you got Henry. I would still probably just take the risk on Achane, just trying to win my league in full PPR compared to Henry, but Henry still should be good with the touchdowns. 3 wide receiver, little concerned about, you can use Rashee Rice early season, and then hopefully by that point Ibuka or Hunter are good, but of course Ibuka later season, Chris Godwin's going to be returning around that time period. So I'm a little bit nervous overall about what might happen with your receivers, and Puka Nacua, Rams, Matt Stafford unhealthy this offseason. Puka Nacua's never been healthy throughout his entire football career for an entire year. Dating back as far as I'm aware of. So I'm a little nervous about the team, but I obviously I don't hate it. It's 10-man leagues here. You're going to have to draft a lot of people I dislike to really hurt the team. So Downs full PPR probably helps. Downs still makes me nervous for the same reason. Him and Tyler Warren. You have him and Tyler Warren. So I guess that gives you some sort of consistency with that target share. So it's kind of but you're probably not going to be playing them both too many weeks. But still, whenever you are playing them both, at least you're going to get those targets, which should be pretty nice in full PPR combined. Higher floor, lower ceiling. combination. Touchdown upside, not very great either. So a high floor, low ceiling play, combining those two. Drake May, Bo Nix. I think Drake May might outperform Bo Nix this year, very potentially. So obviously I like Drake May pick. I don't think in a 10-team league you need to take 2 quarterbacks, though. Yeah, nice job, everybody. Burgos, how did you finish this up? Mason, so you got fully non-PPR guys here. Mason, Dobbs, Chubb, but it's late, so hopefully they're just filling in when need be. Mims, full PPR especially, I really don't think that's going to be anything. All right. Guys, we'll get another draft in here. So, what have we been saying? How do you feel about Metro? I covered your team, right? I sure hope so. I know I talked about it during it several times. College football blitz, no go. Michael, you are drafting second in the listener league. Can you practice 14? We'll do a quick 14 team after we do. Well, what do you guys think? Do you want to do a 14 teamer? No, I don't think it's a bad idea to go wide receiver, Arturo. I mean, ultimately, it just depends on who's available. Where are you drafting from? That kind of impacts who's might be available. I don't like to go into a draft just saying I'm going to do this, but obviously you can go into a draft expecting to do something. Would you like to join me on set? No, I can't. 10-team half PPR, 14-team send. Well, yeah, I mean, tell them to get on in here. Quick, get logged in. Okay, so we'll do a 14-team, half PPR, because we're going to be practicing essentially for our league then. We'll keep it at 30 seconds then, and the roster is fun. All right. Is it 4 flexes? Is 4 flexes right for our league? And 5 bench. I don't remember where I'm drafting exactly in it. Did it take 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 4 flex? No tight end. I noticed that double running back is very good even in 3 wide receiver leagues. Yeah, I mean, any strategy can work. Any strategy can work. Drew L. in a 10-team Superflex league where your league mates wait on quarterbacks. Since this is different from most Superflex leagues, what's the best draft plan to take advantage of this? What do you mean by wait on quarterbacks? Like completely? Like they just draft it like it's not Superflex? Because if not, then I would just take advantage of getting one of the quarterbacks, 3rd round, and then getting 1 4th round. Just get 2 of those top 2 if possible, or maybe 2nd and 3rd round, Drew. Basically. So I'd probably just go quarterback 2nd, 3rd, pick up one of those, other guys, just treat the 1st round like it's a normal draft. Then pop off and get 2 of those quarterbacks, those top 5. Preferably, Lamar's kind of injured right now, but preferably like Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. But nonetheless, that's probably how I would treat it. Just get 2 of those top 5. If your league's going to let that happen, I mean, that's a beast mode. There's a reason that they go early, So take advantage of it. But make sure you get 2 of those top 5. So if you think you can do that 2nd, 3rd round based on how your teammates draft, I'd do that all day. I think it's 5 bench Metro. He's working on logging in. All right. You're 9. And okay. I knew I was like 9 or 7. Link coming. Link in chat to come on in here. 14 team. I'm 9. Oh, our league is 6. I went back and forth on that. I guess I landed on 6 then. I was going to make it a shallow league. Oh, I wanted a deeper bench because that helps me, usually. Nino, what is up? In your opinion, who is Kyron's true handcuff? I think to start the season is probably Blake Corum, but I think there's a very good chance that, later season it would be Hunter. I'm a big fan of Jarquez Hunter, and I was not a fan of Blake Corum. So, based on my personal opinions of them coming out of college, I like Jarquez Hunter more than I liked Blake Corum. I know Hunter had some steam going up before the preseason games, and then Corum's running ahead of Hunter in the preseason games. So yeah, I think if I'm drafting one of them, I'm going to draft Jarquez Hunter because I'm hoping and assuming that Kyron Williams isn't going to go down week 1. The odds are it's sometime a little bit later. Yeah, no DST or kicker in the listener league. They're so annoying, especially kicker, and then defense is so you either get 8 points or you get 30 points. So uneven. Moist Mike. Okay, so Metro's in here, Bogos is in here, Moist Mike's in here. Michael, the Ultimate Sports Network, get your butt on in here. Or are you in here? Okay, no. He can't join. Code is only giving them 4 lots. I don't know what that... Oh. He's getting a 4-digit code when it's asking for 5 numbers. Huh. Interesting. We'll keep it at 30 seconds here, just in case then. Michael, do you have the number 1 pick? No. Okay. The 11th pick? The 8th pick. Okay, you settled. Alright, so your buddy's not going to come and help us out. Looks like it's just going to be the 5 of us. We'll give it a 30-second countdown-ish. 20 seconds or so. Just in case somebody comes on by. Because you never know. It does happen. Last second. So, also in chat. Nino. Nino, are you coming in here? There we go. D's Nuts gets in here. We love some of these nuts. Justin going to help us out. Appreciate ya. Or Justin, are you in the... No, I don't think so. Look at that. All right. I think that's going to be everybody. Justin, I'll try to check. There's one person who... I don't know if they're going to stay in the league or not. What's her name? What's her name? The girl that's been helping us out. She might not. No tight end. Correct. Tight end is not necessary. Okay. Let's roll. Draft started. Bijan going 1 overall. It is half PPR. And it is a lot of flex. So that opens that up a little bit. Jamar, Lamb, Jefferson. Michael's up on the clock. Will he come in time to help us with the draft? He's so built. So built. Guys, next week, I'm probably gonna be up here doing drafts on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe Friday. So no Tuesday next week. Because I have a different leagues draft that I'm doing that Tuesday. But looking to add a couple of extra draft slots in, as next weekend should be the busiest draft weekend usually. I don't know if that stayed true this year or not. Might be this weekend. Gonna be close, but just a heads up on that schedule update. What are we doing? Half PPR. You go Christian McCaffrey right in front of me. Okay, good to know for the real draft then. Is this? Yeah. All right. Malik Neighbors. Derrick Henry goes, Amon-Ra, Achane, Jacobs, Nico. So strategy here, guys. I mean, you can go, 0 RB, 0 wide receiver. You just take the player that you like the most. Very flexible in terms of your starters and everything. Drake London, Bowers, JT, Chase Brown went, Bucky Irving. It is. Wow. Okay. Well, that's cool. I got like the last of a tier there in Drake London. Kind of. Depends how you look at it. And then Ladd, JT. These nuts matching Gibbs up with who? I wonder if in a league like this, I wonder if getting a stack, a good stack, of course, not just any stack, I bet you it's a little bit more valuable. Quarterback, wide receiver stack. I wonder. I don't know. I'd have to think about that more. Is there any reason that it would be? I'm like 99% sure. Heck, it could be one of you. In which case, I would say, still fun to hang out with in here. Burgos going with the quarterback. So the quarterback's not falling with this change up of roster build, which I think makes sense. That no real reason. Tight end Brock Bowers with team 4. Genty Taylor. Trey. Okay, so there's no way that George Kittle can make it back to me, but I think I have Kittle next. Was James Cook still available? No, right? Nope. Yeah. There we go. Got a tight end in a no tight end league. Do you keep Josh Allen or Derrick Henry? I think probably Derrick. What rounds did you draft him in last year? I'll go Sutton there, barely. No, I wouldn't Booter. I think she's a good drafter. Be happy to let whoever it is stay in the league. I just don't know if she'll feel comfortable after getting called out. Mr. Magic says Josh first and third. Derrick Henry first, Josh Allen third. Spending a second to get Josh Allen now. You can still get Derrick Henry in the first. So, yeah, I think I would probably keep Josh Allen there. No. You're not going to get a first round pick. Metro, I don't really want to go into details, but I just was suspicious. And there's one good way to confirm. And she wasn't willing. Michael looks like Michael's out of here. Got the auto last time around. Don't be why wouldn't you be suspicious? You can't trust people online. Don't ever trust anyone online. Oh, I don't know the song, probably. I'm assuming I don't know the song. Running backs. Running low. I think I have Swift ahead of Aaron Jones. Leg down got Mahomes. That's too bad. It's also a Middle Eastern last name. Didn't quite match, right? Kapoor. Why would you ask Nino if you were Michael? Guys, I think I'll take Chris. $14 team. Amy Harris. Hello, Amy Harris. Yeah, Nino. Really didn't want to say anything, but at the same time, I don't want anybody else in here getting... I don't want anybody getting tricked, I should say. Not else. Never know what the purpose is. It's fun energy, though. And good. I liked her mock drafts. So, I'd be happy to let her stay in the league, just, you know. Now you know. Burgos getting Evan Ingram again. Tony Pollard. Ooh, Evan Ingram. I mean, Ingram's definitely going to, in half PPR score. There's a lot of shots out there I think I would probably be taking over Ingram in a league where you don't have to start a tight end. And that's probably true of some of these other situations also outside of those top three. Is your name Michael? Looks like Amy Harris is a catfish in here too. Don't know, Mr. Magic. Not here, but you know, she wasn't here every time. So I don't know. I don't know if she planned. She didn't leave the league, but I don't know if that means she's gonna draft with us or not. So I'll probably just message her and say, "Are you still planning on drafting with us?" Like maybe early next week if she doesn't ever respond to my last message telling her. Gotta prove it. Darn you, Michael Burgos. Stop it. Stop it with the Matthew Golden stuff, would you? I've only got Swift so far. I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to take a shot with Cam. Nino taking Igbuka and Pearsall. Williams, McMillan. Ooh, Amon, you're going to go running back heavy. So that's what's fun. I mean, you can go heavy at any position, any given week. You can give yourself like a real nice floor, just get running backs, and then just pop off with 1 or 2 wide receivers each week, like in good matchups. Okay, that is retired. That was a one-stream statement. JK, Ramondre, Tank. I wonder, actually, what do my rankings say I should have done there? Tank. Or actually, there's probably somebody... Nope, Jordan Mason got taken. Nice pick, D's nuts. I was going to say, or Mason, actually. It's funny she asked if your name's Michael, Nino, because there's like 6 Michaels in here. I wonder what the purpose was. Caleb Downs? Oh, yeah, Caleb. Why does Caleb Downs sound familiar and yet sound like it's the wrong name? Josh Downs, Caleb. Oh, okay. Maybe I've seen him in some preview stuff for college ball then. What's your nickname for the OSU safety, Caleb Downs? Jaden Blue to ETN, Tracy, Monty, Brees, Chase, and Worthy just going to be rocking that wide receiver slot. I just love how these drafts look. It's so sweet. Amon taking Dak here in the 8th. So it seems like in our mock drafts, if you want Dak, you kind of got to get him probably in the 8th, maybe in the 9th. He doesn't fall in our mocks. That's probably my fault. Because I always talk so good about him. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Maybe she was looking for Burgos. I bet you she was looking for Burgos. No, because she would have known that you're not. Because I was thinking, Burgos got that fire pick. Metro, on the clock. Nickname for him is the Boogeyman. Is the Boogeyman the monster? Because he is like all over the place and he plays like a monster. The full nickname is Boogeyman the monster? I don't like that they don't have like tight ends up here, even though we're not drafting them to select from. I'll take Keon, add that into here. I just like the name Burgos Built. That's really what it comes down to. It just it slides off the tongue so well. What is a good late night snack? Some dark chocolate almonds? Yeah, I mean you can't go wrong with chocolate covered peanuts. Nuts. I just didn't really want to say nuts, but I have to because they're not peanuts. You can't go wrong with the chocolate. You can't go wrong with sweet and salty. How about that? We'll take Drake May here. That works nice. Michael gets Caleb Williams. Michael, how do you like your team? So usually when I say Michael, I'm talking to Amy Harris, who is normally the college football guy, the Ultimate Sports Network. No tight end tab's really annoying because at some point some of them are like worth taking a check on, but you can't even just separate it by them. But at the same time, if the ADP on them is lower, like, you know, part of the tight ends get pushed up in ADP because you're forced to take one of them, at least in most leagues. Michael left us. Oh, man. I had him laughing so hard. Got Rashad White. So, like, right now, you know, there's more upside picks. Like, a guy like Christian Kirk's almost certainly going to outscore Jake Ferguson most weeks. Jerome Ford's still out there. Probably going to be the starter for Cleveland unless they add a new running back. Well, at least for a certain period of time. So, 14-team league. Not going to lie. I thought we were not taking any tight end. I probably would have went Bowers instead of Cook. Okay. Half PPR. Not really change anything. Wow, the team said like 3 weeks ago that Jerome Ford would be the starter. Question is, if will Quinshon Judkins join back? Because I would like him on my roster that I drafted him in. Yeah, I mean that's what you got to do, Metro. D's nuts on the clock. Tomorrow, Nino. Good luck. You know I'll be rooting for you. You're gonna have to come back next week, Monday, or Wednesday, or Thursday. Let me know how you did there. D's nuts ends up with Jake Ferguson, cause he couldn't make up his mind. Got Keenan Allen there. Metro went with Trey Harris. Metro, just a heads up on Trey Harris, just in case you're not aware, in case this changes anything for you. I mean, and no different. Like I still think he's worth taking a chance on, but don't get too excited about early season at all because it seems like he's not going to be making it on the field to begin the season. It's going to be Quentin Johnston, Keenan. Quentin Johnston's apparently their other guy that they're going to be using. All right, Drake May T-Lie. 14-team league, I'll take 2 QBs. I love that duo. I mean, I think it's Jamar Chase. You want my honest opinion. Oh, using OBS instead of StreamYard? Atta boy. Alright. Back on the clock. I could probably use... I'm going to have to look at the running backs. There's probably somebody else out there I would take over Jack Besh, but didn't have a lot of time. Yeah. Really gets down there late here. Swift, Scadaboo, Bigsby. Alright, good note, good note. So I should probably try to get... I mean, you can make a buy on Swift and Bigsby and then hope Scadaboo, otherwise waiver wire. It could work, it could work. But a little risky. I feel like if you can get, and I don't want to force it in this draft, but if you can get like a Monroe and Chase Brown, like I think, or Achan Thomas, if you can get one of these wide receiver running back combos in the first 2 rounds here, I do think that works nicely. Okay, so I'll take a chance on Shipley in case of an injury. Yeah, usually I like doing I one alone. Would it being 3 wide receiver? I'm strongly leaning Jamar. I just love the Bijan pick. Yeah, so 3 wide receiver, you definitely should lean Lamar. Ultimately, what do we play fantasy football for? To have fun. So, you know, if you want to take a guy and you're not worried about, you know, any terrible repercussions if your fantasy team doesn't do well, I mean, obviously there's nothing wrong with taking Bijan first. There's a reason, though, that Jamar very clearly is the 1-1, you know, in large part. So, all right, let's look at these teams. So, Amon got Bijan, Kyron, Cook. It's half PPR, so we don't have to worry too much about whether guys are receiving a lot or not. And then you got McMillan, Williams, Ekbuka, Pearsall. Feels a little full PPR-ish. So that gives you a nice little pop. How many starters are there? Wide receiver, running back. Right? 6 starters. So 1, 2... So your starters are up to... So Ekbuka is kind of like your flex. And that's with Pearsall. Early season, you got a little bit of a... That's going to be a decision. And then... You know, Allen might end up being viable there too. And of course, Benson with some luck. I probably wouldn't take a gamble. You know, late tight ends do start to make some sense if you don't put yourself in a position where you need to like cover your running back room or something in this league. Because by the time you get... Ooh, Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt. We all forgot about that. Chris Rodriguez, too, might have been somebody I could have taken instead here. By the time you get to the running backs right about here, right towards the end of the draft, there's a bit of a fall-off there. But some of those tight ends who have some chances of being decent still available. Depends what you need exactly for your team, but that's interesting. Moist Mike, what did you get? Chase, Hall, Montgomery, Worthy, Tracy. Then you got ETN, Blue, Tootin, Garendo, Marks, Amari Cooper. See where he goes. Okay, I think that's a little too risky in the wide receiver room there for me. But a roster, and in 14-team league, it's harder to get waiver wire stuff. So I don't want to be... I would have taken another shot on a wide receiver at the very least here with Marks, but I probably would have gone with a wide receiver here. Ish. Somewhere in there. Burgos doesn't care. D's nuts gone. Michael gone. Didn't really get to draft yours. Metro, you still hanging around. Not gonna lie, I thought Harris is week 1, wide receiver 2. Didn't know he was behind. Yeah, go check out some of the news on that. And I did a video about that earlier this week, I think, talking about that. One of my videos. I really like Strange and Chiggy. If you punt tight end this year, obviously. Yeah, and in this league, it doesn't really matter if you grab a tight end or not. But I do think if you don't get one of those top 3 tight ends and you don't, love some sort of value that you get at some point when you're looking at the tight ends, wide receivers, running backs, when you get back here, it might be worth taking a shot on one of those tight ends to fill out the bottom of your roster. This is if you would... Okay. I really like Strange and Chiggy. I didn't finish this. If you punt... Loveland, Ertz. Yeah, I punted, kind of. / my boy got taken ahead of me. I ended up with Loveland when I punted at wide receiver in my home league. Thoughts on Paul from ES... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about college football at this time of the year to have any preseason discussion. And I don't know who Paul is. Patrick, what's up, Patrick? All right, we'll finish this off with a question here. 12-team PPR Keeper League. Keepers are first 3 rounds. Trade on A.J. Brown plus Higgins plus round 11 pick for the 3-1 pick. Targeting Omarion Hampton. My keepers would be Gibbs, BTJ, Chase Brown. Well, I would draft A.J. Brown ahead of Omarion Hampton. I would draft T. Higgins ahead of Omarion Hampton. So, I'm out on that. You want to trade A.J. Brown, T. Higgins, and a pick for a third-round pick. A.J. Brown and Higgins are both... I know it's keeper. So a third-round pick is more like a fourth-round pick. So you want to trade A.J. Brown and Higgins for a fourth-round pick? For Ken Walker, R.J. Harvey, Trevion Henderson, Zay Flowers, Jamison Williams? I don't know that you get Omarion Hampton at 3-1 in a keeper league. Where's he going in currently? Yeah, I mean, here he goes, second to third round in this draft in a 12-team, 10-team league. So I don't even think it's right around the turn. I mean, there's a chance that Omarion's not there. I guess, no, third-round pick, keeper league. Yeah, I wouldn't even bank on him being there. Like I said, I think you're more looking at Calvin Ridley, George Pickens, but are you going to trade Amon St. Brown and Higgins for that? I don't know if I'm missing something here. Keepers would be Gibbs, BTJ, Chase Brown. Yeah, I'm not going to argue against your keepers. I think you're doing this because you have guys that you want to keep, like too many guys. So you just want to trade some of them away. You can trade before you make your keeper decision? You can trade guys that you're not going to keep? I mean, if you can trade guys that you're not going to keep, then you might as well do it. What does it matter? Right, Nino, though? I mean, if you're just not going to keep A.J. Brown and Higgins, which I would keep... I'm fine with keeping... If you want to keep BTJ over A.J. Brown, I don't... You could trade... That's stupid for this reason. Yeah, sure. If you're not going to keep A.J. Brown and Higgins, what are you losing on? I mean, you're helping to create a potential dangerous team, but you're getting the third-round pick for an 11th-round pick. Right? You're not going to keep either of them anyways. So what's it to you? Once again, you might be helping somebody to build a team that you're going to have to face off against. I wonder, could you trade A.J. Brown? A.J. Brown and an 11th round pick for a 3-1? Instead, at least force them to have to draft Higgins? That would be my only fear, is you just might be creating a team that nobody can beat by giving them Brown, Higgins. I would do A.J. Brown, Higgins, 11 or like a 9 for a 2-1 if you could. I feel like for A.J. Brown and Higgins, they should be able to give up a 2 for that. You know what I mean? Even give up an 8. Like, it really doesn't matter what round you give up. A.J. Brown, Higgins, a 7 for the 2 or something like that. That's kind of what I would probably work at. I mean, it matters a little bit. But if you could get into that second round, might be nicer. Of course, then you might feel like you have to, well, late second. They're going to have the late second round pick, so it doesn't even matter. It's the 2-11 or 2-12 or the 3-1. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think I've given you my opinions on that. Generally speaking, go right ahead. Maybe go for that 2-12 pick, though, just in case. Give yourself one extra shot at giving Omarion Hampton there, just in case he does make it to there, because end of the second, 12-team league, even with keepers, maybe. Nino, I appreciate you too. Have a good one. Patrick, all right, we're on the same board. You kind of getting the idea there. Yeah, man. Trade away. You did really well last year with the players that you got. Take advantage of it. Give yourself a little bit of an advantage going into this year. Maybe you're giving another team a little bit of an advantage too, but I guess, risk it for the biscuit. All right, I think head out. Unless there's any other question, I'll give it a little bit of time before I end the stream. Probably about 10 seconds from now, I'll be ending the stream. 9-8. Let me see if anything fun happened in these preseason games. Halftime in the New York-New England game. Any fun names do anything here? No, they're making decisions on the back end of these rosters for the most part. Jackson Dart had a 23-yard rush. Another good day for Jackson Dart for the most part. 50% completion rate, but he was working with the backups, as far as I could tell. Jalen Hyatt, 3 receptions, 38 yards. Gunnar Olszewski has got to be one of the least known people by NFL fans, but also like one of the most valuable to NFL teams. All right, ending the stream, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good one. Peace out.